beloveds. Welcome to your energy support report for December 2020. I'm Chantel Marie. I'll be here giving you all the good information on the astrological transits, the crystal of the month, the oil of the month, mantras of the month, and our message of the month, all to help you get through this month, which is the last month of a crazy, wild, oftentimes shitty year. So this is our big conclusion. This is our big end scene, finale, ending this year, heading into 2021. So this month, of course, is gonna have some heavy, interesting, expanding, unusual, and even rare energies and transits coming through. So let's get to it, shall we? Right off the bat, December 1st, we've got Mercury entering the sign of Sagittarius. This is more of a freedom of expression, if you will, energy that's going to come through, where we're going to be a little bit more loose with the tongue, but in a good way, really being able to be authentic about what we want, where we're going, what our belief systems are, new philosophies we may have adopted or maybe looking into, really just being able to express without limits and barriers put in, and it's gonna feel really nice. So we're leaving the restriction of Mercury in Scorpio, where it's more of a sharp edge to that, and we're moving into the Mercury in Sagittarius, which is fun, flirty, explorative, adventurous side to our communication channels with ourselves, with our relationships, our loved ones, and also with the other side. If you're a communicator with the other side, this also adds to that as well. So look for your communication channels to be more in that energy zone, which is going to be a nice reprieve from where we were. Then we don't really have any real big transits hitting until the 14th, but let me tell you, from the 14th on, it's game on for the rest of the month. So we get a little bit of a nice break, and we're gonna have some oppositions and sextiles and conjunctions, but nothing really remarkable that I want to discuss here, because the rest of the month is so chock full of big, heavy energy transit that we need to talk about. So on December 14th, we start off this heavy energy cycle with our new moon in Sagittarius. Not only is it the new moon, guys, but it's also our solar eclipse. So this is our bookend eclipse from the lunar eclipse that we had on November 30th. This is the solar one that always follows that up. So let's break this down first. The new moon in Sagittarius is new beginnings, but also there's a bit of more of an adventurous side coming out, or being able to see plans take shape a little more than we have before, especially with the lockdowns and the pandemic across the world. Not to say that this is gonna lift anytime soon, but we're gonna be able to have the vision for what's coming next a little clearer under this new moon, and you can even make that clearer for you with the intentions you set under this new moon energy in Sagittarius. Where do you want to go? What direction do you want to head in? How do you want to grow under this new moon energy and beyond? And then that solar eclipse that's coming up on December 14th as well. The first solar eclipse we had this year was June. It was on June 21st. So this is the 6th month closing of that chapter. So we really get to look back to where we were at the first solar eclipse of this year and see all of the things that happened in between that time and now, and what we can learn from it, and where we can grow from those areas, and how we're going to proceed forward now that we're closing out these chapters. That's what this solar eclipse, the second one of this year, is going to do for us. It's not in closing out 2020, but it's closing out that 6-month chapter, personal development chapter that we had open for this period of time from eclipse to eclipse. On December 15th, Chiron goes direct in the sign of Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, Aries is the child. So we really were looking at a lot of themes relating to childhood trauma, wounds, pains, and hurts. And now that they're going direct, we can take everything that we learned, everything that we've examined, and we can apply that as we grow and move forward into the next version of ourselves, that Chiron allows us to see a lot of things that we were able to heal and work through from our past that definitely pointed back to our childhood, right? Because if we're looking at Aries, the child, we're looking at our inner child and the things that initiated during that time period for us. This was a big energy that we were exploring this entire time that Chiron was retrograde in the sign of Aries. And now that we're direct, we can definitely take the things that we've learned and restructure our narrative and our relationship, not only with ourselves, with our inner child, and with the relationships we had during childhood. So this is a lot of familial things, right? Can't even be friendships, but I'm really feeling the heavy energy on familial ties. Either we can finally shut the door and close the chapter, or we can also heal from these things and maybe come back together in a better, healthier, more mature space than we were able to reach before. Also on the 15th, Venus enters the sign of Sagittarius. Get ready to get flirty and fun and free. Venus in Sagittarius just wants to have a good time, really wants you to show them some exciting new things. Think adventure, think exploring the unknown, think of unexpected surprises. This is Venus in Sagittarius, and it's a great time to dive into those energies, with this being the holiday season, really surprising loved ones, exploring that side of giving the gift of adventure, right? Or the gift of looking into new gifts as you look into new places to shop at, because I feel like, again, 2020 was a lot of breaking down of structures. So don't be surprised if during this holiday season you don't feel like frequenting the old big box corporations like you used to. You really want to find like those niche, special, small business, handmade, handcrafted, love poured into them products and services that you can then share with loved ones. And this is also an adventure. This is also very explorative. So this aligns with Venus and Sagittarius. And if we're thinking gift giving for Venus and Sagittarius really loves experiences. So keep that in mind as you do your holiday shopping. The gift of experiences can mean so much more than something physical with a nice bow wrapped around it. You know, the gift of time, the gift of self, the gift of connection. That's really a big theme here with Venus in Sagittarius. Okay, then on December 17th, we've got a major transit taking place. Saturn enters into the sign of Aquarius. Saturn's been in Capricorn for quite some time, and we have felt that. We have felt the daddy energies big time this year. Although Saturn has flirted with the sign of Aquarius a couple of times this year, dipped its toe into the Aquarian waters and then gone right back into Capricorn, now on December 17th, it's going into the sign of Aquarius, and it will stay there until 2023 when it enters the sign of Pisces. So we are going to be in Saturn Aquarius waters for quite some time, for the next 2 years, where we get to really enjoy a reprieve, if you will, from the Saturn and Capricorn energy. So where Saturn and Capricorn is very domineering, is very get your shit together, I will make you get your shit together, you've got to take care of this is not right, this is wrong. Saturn in Aquarius is more of a collective harmony energy, of karmic collective coming together. And that's really what 2020 was leading us into, was getting us prepared for the Saturn and Aquarius major shift of the collective consciousness, to where we get to be more of a part of the rebuilding of society and the structures that we want collectively, that we get to have a say in as a whole from this point on. But it had to tear down the old, which was Saturn and Capricorn, right? Really letting us know what's working and what's not working, and being the disciplinarian behind that before we can move to this space, which is the rebuilding, the coming together, the consciousness of humanity aligning for the greater good of all. And also making sure, because Saturn's in it, making sure that we're doing it the right way. So this is going to be a really nice break from what we've been through, but also very supportive in where we're headed. So this is a very important transit, and luckily for us, we're gonna have some time in this energy before it shifts to Pisces in 2023. Then on December 19th, Jupiter follows suit and enters into the sign of Aquarius. So we are all turning the Aquarius page, heading into the age of Aquarius, which is a time of shifting for the collective together, right? So Jupiter going to the sign of Aquarius is that expansion of humanity, the expansion of the collective consciousness as it pertains to the heavens and the earth, right? As above, so below, this balance of the two, because the Aquarius sign brings the starseed energy to the earth. It's here incarnated on this earth, but it's all about the heavenly energies. So it is this nice juxtaposition, and the Jupiter energy only makes that bigger. It embiggens it. Yes, I said embiggens. It embiggens that energy. So this is again right up the alley of the age of Aquarius. We're in it, we're heading into it, we're getting there, and it's going to feel really good. This is something that we've been wanting to move towards for decades now, right? Like think about the Age of Aquarius song, like that came out in the 70s. So we've really been looking forward to this point in time, this point in our history for quite some time now, and we're here. And we get to live through it, and we get to experience it and benefit from these shifts. So this is a big deal. Like I said, December 2020 wasn't gonna leave us. It's gonna go out just as loud as it came in this year, and we have the shifts to prove it. On December 20th, we have Mercury entering into the sign of Capricorn, so communication can become a little bit more structured, right? Super fun, super flirty, super free when it was in Sagittarius, and now we're gonna get a little bit more structured, a little bit more serious, buckle down just a little bit more to make sure that what we are communicating, how we are saying things makes sense as we build towards the future. So it's all in alignment. This is all going according to plan. And then the next day on December 21st, we have the sun entering into the sign of Capricorn. So again, that buckle down, right? Get a little bit more serious about the future, about what we're doing here. And it's okay, like this is a good thing. Like we want to be more serious. We want to have that break, that little vacation, the little 5-minute breather before we have to put our heads to the books and make sure that what we're planning is really what we want to happen collectively, individually, but also collectively, because what we do individually affects us on a collective level. This is really the beginning of the time where you want to start making your plans for your New Year's resolution. Now, you don't have to make them on New Year's, but this is the energy that kind of supports that, is the sun in Capricorn. What am I planning for 1 year from now? Where do I want to see myself at the end of this cycle? And this is where that energy starts to build up. So if you want to start making your list for your resolutions, this is a great time to do it. And then on December 21st as well, we are going to experience what's known as the Great Conjunction. That is where Jupiter conjuncts Saturn in Capricorn in our sky. This hasn't happened. They haven't gotten this close since 1623. Guys, this is a big freaking deal. Jupiter and Saturn do not normally meet up this closely. So when they do, it causes a big energetic shift, a big ruckus in our collective energies, and it's bringing a lot of energy to us at this time. Think Jupiter is like massive, right? It's the planet of expansion. It's gaseous, so it will blow, right? It like expands and becomes bigger and larger than life. And Saturn is the conductor of time. Saturn is the one who makes sure that everything is done correctly. Dad energy, right? Government energy. Saturn rules the government as well. So when we're talking about the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, the Great Conjunction, we can expect to see a lot of massive shifts when it comes to roles of the government, roles of the patriarchy, because Saturn is also very masculine. We can also look at the educational system, right? We can look at anything that is really tuned into a specific systematic way of doing things, and Jupiter will come and just blow it up. Literally blow it up. And we're gonna have to see what we're left with, right? But when it blows it up, it does it in a way that is beneficial for us, because Jupiter is a beneficial energy. Saturn is malefic energy, which can be a little dark, a little heavy. Jupiter is lighter and more positive. And so those two meeting up definitely is gonna be something that we can't ignore and that we will experience in pretty big ways. So this is what I'm talking about when I said the second half of December is like crazy. We have so many things going on. This is the biggest one. And we've already talked about eclipses and Saturn in Aquarius and Jupiter in Aquarius, but this one, man, this one is gonna take the cake spotlight-wise in the astrological shifts and transits of this month. Think of large shifts in fortune and power. That's what we can expect to see. So I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to show up for us, not only as a collective, right, on the world scale, but also individually, because again, what happens to the collective happens to us, what happens to us happens to the collective. We are not separate from one another. We're more connected than we think that we are. So pay attention to how this shows up, because in fact, I don't even think that you're gonna have to pay that close of attention. I think it's just gonna hit you. You're gonna see, you're gonna be like, what is going on? You can trace it back to this transit. And then finally, to close out the month and the year, we're gonna have the full moon in Cancer on December 30th. So right at the very end, we have this culmination, the full moon in her fullest state at the end of her cycle, at the end of the year, at the end of the month. It all comes together. And the full moon in Cancer is our mom energy, and Cancer rules the home. And so really being able to bring in the peace and the fulfillment as it shows up in our home, in our families, in our relationship with our divine feminine counterparts, divine feminine inside of us, whichever it may be, but being able to really come to terms with that and be at peace and be one with that is really what this full moon in Cancer is asking us. We've been through so much this year, and the full moon in Cancer is like a big hug from our divine mother, which we all need. We all need that right now, just a big warm bear hug. She's bringing us some cocoa, she's stroking our hair, she's telling us that we did a good job and everything's gonna be okay. That's how we end the year. How poetic, how perfect. I can't wait for 2021. We have so many things to talk about coming in that year. They won't be as shocking as the transits of 2020. So it's okay, we can take a breather. We won't have to relive another 2020, but we will have to move from this point on. We're gonna have to grow from here, and that's gonna take work, and let the rebuilding begin. So what do you do when you're looking for a crystal of the month that sums up this year? There is literally no other crystal that would have come to mind or that would fit the energies better than ammonite. Ammonite is the one, you guys. This one I'm super excited to talk about because this one is going to encompass everything that we need to end this year on a positive note for us to bring everything back to center, to harmonize and balance and cleanse and purify all the energies, the negative energies, bring them all in, and then expunge all the positive, let all the positive energies come out. Ammonite is the one for us. So ammonite is actually a fossil, if you haven't guessed. And if you've never worked with ammonite before, this is a fossil of these snail-like creatures that were on this earth millions of years ago. And a lot of ammonites will crystallize over, and so you can see a lot of druzy in ammonites. You can see a lot of iridescent rainbows sometimes, and that's just Mother Nature doing her thing, you know, making things more beautiful with time. That's a lesson of nature, right? the more time we give something, the more time it has to become what it's supposed to become in its best possible shape and form. And that's the message for 2020, to give things time, even though it may seem rough, even though we had to die and leave a fossil of ourselves behind. The fossil can then take new life into something better than it was before, something that can be appreciated, something that harnesses all these Earth's energies to really assist in the coming shifts and transits of time that we can look forward to. Ammonite filters out negative, low vibrational energies to bring out positive energies in its place. It stimulates chi, or life force energy within us, and it can also aid in the activation of Kundalini energy, really bringing up the Earth's energy in its purest form into our vessels to reach to the heavens, to connect again, as above, so below. That is a theme that's playing out this month. Ammonite assists in ushering in health, well-being, prosperity, abundance, success, all things that I think every single one of us put on our resolution list almost every year, right? If it's not health, then it's success, it's abundance, it's well-being, it's one, if not all of them, that we're looking to achieve, we're looking to succeed in. So Ammonite is going to be an excellent supporter of that wish list that you create. Ammonite holds ancient earth knowledge. Think about how old Ammonite is and all the seasons of time and the turnings of earth that it has been through. It knows so much. And so working with Ammonite really helps to bring that knowledge into us so that we know that what we're going through now is not the end. It's not the end. Sometimes it can feel like the end, but it's not. It's just a moment in time that is required for us to go through in order to get to the next stage. It's a karmic cleanser, and it brings in universal clarity. So really dusting off the cobwebs and bringing in the clear, focused vision that we need to hold in order to walk on our best and highest life path, which is another thing that Ammonite supports, is opening up your true life path and purpose. And Ammonite connects numerologically to the number 9, which is connected to endings, conclusions, right? The dramatic finishes of cycles. And that's exactly what we're in right now, dramatic finish of this cycle. So Ammonite is the perfect crystal. I highly recommend working with Ammonite, and my favorite way to work with Ammonite is to place her on the womb chakra. So right on the belly button, right where your belly button lives, that's your womb chakra. Placing your Ammonite there and just going about your Netflix and chill, right? Just laying in bed, having it hang out with you, or you can go into meditation, but really activating that chakra through the properties of this crystal is powerful. The oil of the month is one of my favorite smells in the world, and if you haven't worked with it, I assure you you've smelled it before, because it is probably in 90% of all perfumes as a base note, and that is neroli oil. Neroli oil comes from the flower of the bitter orange tree. It is super high vibrational. It brings in the purification energies. It brings in pure divine light. It brings in hope and joy and aligns you with your highest path and purpose, your highest self, your highest good. It clears out sorrow, it clears out pain and doubt and fear and sadness and darkness, and allows the light to come in. It brings in more compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance. It's super uplifting. It's actually connected to the sun, which I love, because especially this time of year, we don't get to see the sun as much, and bringing this neroli oil into our daily lives helps to bring the sun's energy a little bit closer to us so we can work with that massively activating light within. Neroli oil also helps to restore balance in our psyche, right? So all the bitterness that we may have been feeling, or pain or trauma, neroli helps to bring that back in by bringing light in and allowing us to see clearly why things had to happen, where we are now, and how much better we are for it. And it has properties that regenerates the skin on a cellular level. So using that same energy to regenerate our own exuberance, our own happiness, our own light within. Neroli is a perfect oil to pair with this month's energies, with our ammonite crystal, and with the season that we're in, which can seem glum at sometimes. Neroli is really gonna bring that high vibrational frequencies back into us so that we can tap into those more frequently as we need to. I absolutely love neroli oil. It smells so freaking good. So this is actually an oil because, as I mentioned before, it's used in a lot of perfumes as a base or as a major note in perfumes. You can use this, just this oil, as a perfume. And that's exactly how I'm gonna use it. So I would definitely put it on your pulse points just as you would a perfume because yes, right? So we're gonna wanna put it behind the ears as well. You can put it on your heart chakra. Then from there, I would always put it on your third eye because neroli really brings that light in. It really helps to clarify, clear out the fog, restore the balance in the psyche. So the third eye really is a major point for that. And then again, because the ammonite and because the energies of this year are closing out and giving birth to something new, I want you to use neroli oil on your womb chakra. So that's just gonna be right on your belly button. Super simple, right on the womb, right? And you can even anoint your ammonite crystal with the neroli oil and then put them both on your womb chakra. You're gonna have some really good experiences with that. You're gonna find so much peace, so much calm, and this zest and zeal to begin anew. And then here's a little tip for perfume. You can put it right here, right under your nose, so you can smell it. You have your own little aromatherapy going on all day long. If you just put it right where you can smell it. That's one of my favorite places to put oils that I actually do want to smell, right there. I will always put it right there. Okay, we are headed into our messages of the month, or message of the month, I should say. And we are using our Soul Journey deck by Nancy Hess at SF Spirit House. She's the best. Fun fact, she actually redid my website recently. So if you want to take a look at my website, you can take a look at some of her amazing work. She's very talented. And in fact, she just released a brand new deck that I have to get my hands on. And this deck actually helps you to communicate, facilitates communication with the other side. Because if I haven't mentioned before, Nancy is a powerful medium. She's actually my go-to medium whenever I have ghosty or spirit problems or questions or referrals that I need to make. She's the one that I call upon. She's my girl. So this deck that she made is created to help facilitate your own communication with the other side. How cool is that? I'm super excited to get my hands on it. But for now, we're gonna pull from our trusted Soul Journey deck, and we have a self-examination. What a way to end the year, right? Let's take a look at ourselves. Let's see, what have you learned? And this truly is what it's asking. Do I notice when the universe speaks to me? Do I choose to listen? This is a really good question because, like I said, during the transits when we were talking about that, I was asking you to bring awareness, to acknowledge how you feel and what you see around the things that are happening. And then I said, you probably wouldn't even need to because it's going to be so big. But this is a really good question because do you notice? Do you even notice? Do you even pay attention when the universe is speaking? Because the universe speaks all the time. They're always talking to you. They're always sending messages to you and synchronicities and channeling things down to you and sending messengers and relationships and lessons. We are in constant communication with the universe, but the majority of us don't even notice. We don't even pay attention because we're not listening. So this is something that we can take the time out to really focus on and bridge our communication and our relationship with the universe, bringing it back into aligned harmony, especially as we move away from this shit year and into 2021, where we're going to be rebuilding. And the rebuilding has to involve our close connection with the universe. It has to. We've gotten so far away from being in tune with the universe and nature and all of the lessons that time has been trying to tell us, that when we're rebuilding the new world, we can't leave that out this time. We need to make a conscious effort, and that's exactly what the self-examination is. Where's your conscious effort at? Review it and renew it. Super simple, but super effective. All right, and then we are on to our mantras of the month, which is the last portion of our ESR. Thanks for sticking around all this time. I had a lot to say this month, but we have a lot to go over. So we're gonna end it with our mantras as we always do. Mantras being affirmations that we speak over and over again while we work through our mala, mini mala, rosary beads, or altar beads, right? Whichever is of your choosing. This is my mini mala from Mala Malama Love. You can find her on Instagram. She has an amazing shop. She created this one specifically for me. This is the Akashic Crystal Healing Mini Mala. You can get a recreation of this, or you can get your own. But please do get whatever you need to get, because this is the tool we use for our mantras. We're going to repeat a mantra per mala bead all the way until we get all the way around. I do 4 go rounds. I go all the way around 4 times. 4 is my lucky number. The number means so much to me. I would do at least 3, no less than 3, but you could definitely do more if you're working with a mini. But that is how we use these mantras, and we choose 1 time a day, every day, for the next 31 days to repeat these 4 mantras that we have this month. They're really important. They help to shift our focus, and they help to ground us in the energies and the direction that we're heading into. So this month, all 4 mantras specifically begin with I am, and that's on purpose because we are rebuilding. We are reinventing ourselves. We are reinventing our world. And so the words I am shape the reality of what comes next after those words. So I thought it was really important to frame all the mantras with I am. So the first mantra is, I am clear of all past fears, doubts, and debts. We're clearing the slate. It doesn't exist anymore. We're not afraid of anything. We don't have any more doubts, and our debt has been made good. The second, I am awakening to a higher purpose, because you are. We are. All of us, we are awakening to a higher purpose. That's what this year was for, was to show us the higher purpose in everything, to show us the light. And so now it's time to wake up to it. The third mantra is, I am renewed under the evolved collective consciousness. You are renewed. We have been made anew. We are renewed under the evolved collective consciousness. It's a powerful statement. And the fourth mantra is, I am available for all potential future experiences that align with my highest good. Because you don't just get one future outcome. There's many. There are so many to choose from, and they're all equally beneficial and good. And we get to decide. You get to decide which one you're going to walk. But we want to make sure that we are available for all potential future experiences that are aligned to our highest good. I am super excited to be ending this year, closing out this month, but closing out this year and getting ready to walk into the new year, 2021, with all of you and more, right? Because we're just gonna grow. We're all gonna grow together. And that excites me. I'm really really stoked for my available future potential experiences that are going to reveal themselves as we progress throughout 2021. I want to thank all of you for being here this year, for supporting me, and for becoming a part of my family and community. And those of you who aren't in yet, there's still time. I welcome you with open arms. There are many ways to work with me. You can visit my website for more information. I have a Patreon account, and my favorite thing in the world is to connect to you on a one-on-one level individually and work together for your growth and your highest best. I'm super excited to see what comes for all of us in this next year, and I thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in 2021. Bye!